How are we all doing today, people? It's Revival of Wisdom, and today we're gonna get real deep. This video is gonna get real deep. A lot of people are not gonna be ready for this sort of knowledge. Okay, you really have to do is to really deprogram the mind, because everything we've been taught is a complete lie, is to keep us trapped. Okay, this is really advanced knowledge. Now, let's get straight into this. All of the ancients depicted other worlds, and they called this place Midgard. Midgard is the mid garden, the middle garden. This is why the Masonic symbolism on the floor is always a black and white checkered board, symbolizing the polarity here, the good and bad, because we're in the middle garden, the heart. Earth rearranged spells heart, because we're in the heart of this system, or whatever it is, a super quantum computer, whatever you want to call it, simulation. Now, in the Quran, it talks about the 7 layers of heaven. All of these ancient artworks are depicting these different layers of reality. Okay, and look at the Egyptians here with the boat outside of the firmament. Boats travel on water, and this is exactly what the Masons are doing. So they're still using the same symbols. Why? Because it's the same knowledge, just hidden. The Egyptians have the same knowledge as the Freemasons. It's just hidden. Now, this cosmology that they're showing here, which is probably made maybe 100 years ago, this painting or artwork, is the exact same as the one we see here, with the arch, the boat. You know, it's similar, because the boat is symbolizing traveling these other worlds, because the ether is also symbolized as water, because if you look up at the stars through a telescope, it looks like it's water. It's shining through water, because this ether, whatever this substance is outside of this world, was symbolized as water. Okay, and look at all these ancient depictions showing these different layers of reality. Now, we are being trapped within this 3D dimensional world, which is the cube, the Saturn cube, because there are 6 sides to everything in this world: front, back, left, right, up and down. 6, which is the cube, because we're in the Saturn's world. Okay, now, always been depicted as a tree of life, the tree of the universe has always been depicted as this tree. Because let's get a bit deeper. Now, the cosmology of this reality is the sun, the moon, and Polaris, always in the Masonic art. The sun, the moon, and Polaris, the all-seeing eye. If you go inside of the temples, of the Masonic temples, they always have this star in the middle, shining light beams. Okay, look here, the light beams coming from the big star in the middle, which is Polaris. This eye is God. It's God's light shining down from his abundance. Now, when you astral travel, you will see this big ball of light above you, and this big ball of light is God. But you cannot travel towards it until you are pure. It doesn't work like that. You have to become formless. You have to become pure before you can become one with the light. In all these Masonic artworks, it's all depicting the star in the center. This star is Polaris, because Polaris is the way out of this place. And this is why you see the stairway to heaven all the way up to the light beam, the light source. What does it say in the Bible? God is light, because everything is made out of one substance, and that substance is light. And it symbolizes the eye, because God is an eye. All things that are alive have an eye. And we all say, I am. We all see these realities through eyes. God is an eye. He's the all-seeing eye. He sees all things at all times. And he is projecting this light. And this light comes down to create all the different levels of the worlds. And this is what the two pillars symbolize the number 11. 11, the number 1, is just a vertical line. It's the 1. It's a 1 point. 11 symbolizes the mirror nature of reality. Everything's mirrored. As above, so below. Now, the 11 also symbolizes openings, doorways. And as you can see here, an opening to the all-seeing eye. And you see here again, an opening to the stairway all the way up to the light. This light is the light of God in the astral worlds, beyond this world. Now, Polaris has also been symbolized as the UFO. They put the truth in plain sight. So you know in the films how the UFOs suck people up. That's what Polaris is doing. If you ascend beyond this world, if you do not ascend beyond this world, you will be reincarnated in this world. The whole thing is to outgrow this consciousness to the plane above. And I'm not just making this up. I'm going to be bringing in scriptures after this. But you can see with the Christmas tree, we always put a high, big star at the center, at the top, which is the star of Polaris, which is exactly what the Masons are doing here. The star at the top. And it's on top of our Christmas trees. And all of these symbolize the other stars, because Polaris is the most high star. And all the other stars are wrapped around the firmament lower than Polaris. And that's exactly what the Christmas tree is. And it's a triangle. It's a triangle, just like light beams travel from one point in the triangle, just like the all-seeing eye. It's a triangle. The light is coming from one point and sending its rays downward. You see, it's kind of like you see here with the water. And the lower you go, the darker it gets, the more evil it becomes. And this is what the ancients would call hell. Now, this all-seeing eye is Polaris. And below Polaris is Mount Meru, the North Pole, the magnetic North Pole. The Tower of Babel, which is in the Bible. The etymology of the word Babel, Ba meaning spirit, which gives the ability to move the soul through the worlds, that's the ancient Egyptian description of the word Ba, meaning of the word Ba. You have the Ka, the Ba, the Ak, but the Ba is the one that gives the ability for the soul to move through the worlds. Your soul can't speak into a world without incarnating into it. Now, the Tower of Babel symbolizes Mount Meru because it's the word Ba is the spirit which gives the ability for the soul to move through the worlds. The Tower of Babel is the magnetic North Pole, Mount Meru, which gives the ability to move through these different worlds. And you can see the ancient Tibetans always showing this depiction of these different worlds coming from the center. Because we have to ascend our consciousness. It's not about how good you are to reach heaven. It's about how you expand your consciousness, you expand your mind. So they teach now that you have to be good in order to reach to heaven. It's about expanding the mind, expanding your consciousness to these different planes, these different realms. So that's what it's about. And Jesus was known as the fisher of man. Now, Jesus is a massive part of this. He was known as the fisher of man because he was fishing. He could have been fishing. He could have been one of these deities that had come down from these different higher realities and pull people up. So they would so they called Jesus the fisher of man. And he says unto them, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. So these deities that we see in the past, like Buddha, Krishna, Hermes, Thoth, Jesus, could all be these entities who were coming down to pick up the minds that were worthy enough to see the higher planes of reality. And this is why they called him the fisher of man. Now, when Jesus walks on water, there is a parable with Paul. And he says, but Jesus immediately said unto them, take courage, it is I, don't be afraid. He's talking about astral travel here. He's talking about leaving the body. Because when you leave the body in astral travel to see these alternative realities, you can't be afraid because fear is a bondage, which is what the Emerald Tablets talks about. Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. The water. Come, he said. And Peter got down from the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. When you become afraid in astral travel, you sink back into your body. Lord, save me. So this is talking about Jesus pulling people up into different realities. And you can see the fish is the symbol of Jesus. Is another symbol of Jesus, a fish. Because fish symbolize deep occult knowledge. Because fish travel the depths of the ocean. And they symbolize us because we are fish underneath the ethers. And Jesus was pulling people up. You see, so the Bible is a people today believe the Bible is a book telling you how to reach to heaven, how to become godly and reach heaven. But you've got to become the Jesus Christ to see these alternative realities. Now look at the Emerald Tablets is a massive part, and it speaks so much about these different realities. Look what it says here. This is in Emerald Tablet 3. Then in my heart grew a great longing to conquer the pathway that led to the stars, which is exactly what the Masons depict in all of their art. Look, the ladder to the stars. And then he goes on to say, years after years I sought after wisdom, seeking new knowledge, following the way, until at last my soul in great travail broke from its bondage and bounded away, broke from the bondage of the body. Free was I from the bondage of earth men, free from the body I flashed through the night. The stars. The stars are a massive part in the astral world. Each star is a different reality. And the true astrology is the star that you came from. You came through a star to reach this, to reach here. There is a reason why you are here. There's a reason why you have the personality traits, because your soul came from a specific star. This is why we call them stargates, because they are gates in and out of this reality. And Polaris is the way out to the higher worlds. Now look, far into space, my soul traveled freely into the infinite circles of light. Beyond knowledge were some planets and great gigantic beyond dreams of men. Then he goes to say, lift up your flame from out of the darkness, fly from the night and ye shall be free. Lift up your flame. Your flame is your soul, because it has to be lifted up out of the darkness. This is the darkness, this world, this body is the darkness. because it's a bondage. You need to break free. You need to learn how to astral travel, people. You have to learn this. If you want to get out of this world, you have to learn how to astral travel and see the other realities. Traveled I through space-time, knowing my soul at last was set free, knowing that now I must pursue wisdom until at last I pass to a plane hidden from knowledge, known not to wisdom, extension beyond all that we know. So he's talking about he went to a place where we cannot even comprehend here, a place that is not even known to Earthmen. He's telling you he's ascended out of this world to the planes that are beyond. And it says here in the Emerald Tablets, man is in process of changing to forms that are not of this world. Grows he in time to the formless, a plane on the cycle above. Know ye must be one, ye must become formless before ye are one with the light. The light, the same light that I was talking about, the Masonic light, with the triangle, God, the one source. Ye must become formless before ye are with the light. Formless, you have to leave the body. You have to leave the body. You have to gain the ability to leave this body and travel to these other worlds. Now, it says here, not as man am I, for free have I become of dimensions and planes. In each I take on a new body. In each I change my form. Know I now that the formless is all there is of form. You see, all things created come from the things that, all things that you see come from the things that you cannot see. All of us have the same spark of consciousness, the same I am. Every dog, every animal, every human has this same I, this same thing which sees through the eye. It's formless. It takes this formless entity is the same entity of us. We are all the same entity in different bodies. And this entity it was represented as the flame, the cosmic flame, which is inside of all of us. And this is why the Masons depicted your spine as a candle or the Holy Grail. You would either see this or a candle with a flame on the top, because the Holy Grail is your consciousness, which is on top of your spine, which is the candle. Now, Jesus, Thoth, Buddha were all these deities which were coming down to lift people up because they were fishermen of men. And he would lift you up to the higher worlds, out of this world, to the ones above. Now Thoth, you can see him here, he's leading the way. He's holding someone and he's leading the way with knowledge and power. He was leading the way to other worlds, out of this world. There's no point trying to change this world. This world will stay the same. It will stay the same. You have to get out of this world, and that's what they're telling you. That's what they're keeping you from. They're keeping you stuck within this thin layer of reality. So what the Masons are doing, they have the ability to astral travel. They're living not stuck and bound to one reality, but living within the different layers of reality. And this is what Morpheus was doing in the Matrix. Morpheus was going into the Matrix to go and get Neo, which is exactly what Jesus was doing, pulling up people out of this world to the ones higher. And that's exactly what Morpheus is doing in the Matrix. If you haven't watched the Matrix, go and watch it. It will blow your mind. Everything I'm saying in this video, you will see it. Except that you don't need to use a machine to enter the Matrix. You just use your body. Well, you use your consciousness to leave this body. You see, Neo was also uploading himself into the simulation to pull people out of the simulation. And this is exactly what all of these gods were doing. The Fisher of Man. Look, he was pulling people up out of this reality with the knowledge. Now, Jesus was always depicted with the mushrooms. Look at all this mushroom art. Mushrooms were literally the origin of Christianity. You can see it everywhere. There's mushrooms in all of the ancient art. Every single one of these paintings you see here, there's mushrooms on them. Mushrooms have the ability to see alternative states of consciousness. Now, if you go and do them, and you go to sleep, if you pop mushrooms, you go to sleep, and you will wake up in another reality. You will wake up in another reality. Don't try it if you don't want to do it. But if you've got the heart to do it, do it. Eat them, and go to sleep. You'll wake up in another reality. And Jesus was handing out mushrooms to the bright minds, to the minds that he wanted to fish out and pull up to the higher realities. He was giving them mushrooms to see themselves in an alternative state, in an alternative reality. This is why there was so much mushroom art, and it's not just ancient Christians. It's Sumerians, it's the Mayans, the Celtics, the Egyptians. All used mushrooms. All of them. Look at all this art. It's on stones. It's everywhere because mushrooms. See, everything in nature is a macro. Look at the form of a mushroom. It's literally your spine and brain. Because they alter your consciousness. Your body is just a radio receiver. Everything that you're experiencing is a program being ran by the central nervous system, and your consciousness is experiencing this program. These electrical impulses of the nervous system, because it's all feeding back to one point, which is the pineal gland. And this is the candle with the light on it. Type in Masonic candle and you'll see it. It's your spine with your spark of consciousness on top of the spine. And it's a mushroom because this sends you to alternative states of consciousness, alternative realities. Now, they were all doing this, the Egyptians, the Mayans. Now, there's more symbolism which goes into this. Look at the Christmas trees we use. The Christmas tree with the presents underneath them. Magic mushrooms grow under trees. And these are the presents under the trees that we symbolize today with Christmas. Santa's red and yellow for the red and yellow mushrooms. The same mushrooms Mario has to collect, and when he gets enough mushrooms, he levels up. And then what does he do when he go past the world? When you win that world in Mario, you go to another reality. You go inside of another world. It's truth in plain sight, and it's using mushrooms. It's using mushrooms. Everything, all of the characters in Mario, well, a lot of them are mushrooms. Look at this one. The presents, black, yellow, and red and white. Red and white mushrooms. And the bow on the top is the mushroom head. That's a bit of a reach, but you know, the symbolism never lies. That's what you need to understand. And it's as above, so below. Now look at the Sumerians. The Sumerians were also multi-dimensional beings. Okay, look at how they have the double faces. They had 1 foot in this reality and 1 foot in another reality. And look at this one, a double-headed god inside of like a portal. You see? Because and look at these with the wings, the astral travel. Birds, ancient birds symbolize the soul, because the soul is a bird. It flies to different worlds. It flies around the cosmos. And mushrooms gave you the ability to see these alternative states of consciousness, these alternate realities, because you exist in infinite realities. You exist in infinite realities. Now look at the 33rd degree Ordo Ab Chao badge. You get this badge when you become a 33rd degree Freemason, and it's a double-headed eagle. A double-headed eagle. And you can see this in Sumeria first. Sumeria have the same symbol, a double-headed, well, bird. You can see it here as well. And the Masons are still using this symbol today. And when you become a 33rd degree, 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine, above the vertebrae is your consciousness, and it's a double-headed eagle. One reality in one, you become a multi-dimensional being in the 33rd degree. And I've heard many interviews of Masons say it becomes Luciferian. You see, they speak in code. These Masons can't tell you about what they learn about, but they will speak in code. They said it becomes Luciferian. The word Luciferian is lucid. The root word of Luciferian is lucid, and lucid is lucid dreaming, alternative realities, dream worlds. You become a god. Luciferian means you're becoming your own god, pretty much, because you are becoming a multi-dimensional being living in between the different layers of reality at the 33rd degree of Freemasonry. And look at the double-headed eagle, because the birds symbolize the soul. And they reach high, they fly high, just like the soul wants to fly high to the light, to become one with the light, like the Emerald Tablet says. Now look at Janus. Janus was another god, and he's known as the god of doorways. Janus always depicted with a double head. Janus is why we say janitor or January. And January is entering a new year. Janus is known as the god of doorways with keys, always got a key, because keys open doors. That's why the janitor holds all the keys. And Janus always has double heads, because he had one foot in this reality, one foot in another. He was a multi-dimensional being, a Luciferian, living between the different layers of reality, except from instead of being stuck in one like we are. Well, a lot of people. And that's the whole point. You see, all of this stuff is about like changing the world and stuff like that. This world will probably never ever change. It's probably been like this forever. Well, forever, for a long time. But it's about moving out of this reality to the higher states. And the Masons always depict the ladder to the luminaries, the stars, with a key, the same key of Janus. The Vatican is a key, and it's in charge of all the religions. Why is it a key? Because they're holding back the key. They're keeping you stuck within this reality, keeping you stuck as identifying yourself with the body, identifying yourself with this world. You are not in the world is within you. This is a program being ran by your central nervous system, and your consciousness is experiencing this reality. Now, this is going to be a mind-blowing video for some people. You have to have an open mind. You have to let go of all the programs. I'm repeating what the ancients are talking about and the ancient symbolism. Look at Janus with the double-headed god. He was just another god coming down, giving keys to people who had the worthy mind to be pulled up out of this reality, to be pulled up to heaven, just like Jesus was teaching how to reach heaven. But really, it's an encoded scripture. But anyways, hope you all gained some insight on this video. Have an amazing day. Please like, share, comment. All the links are in the bio for the PDF, for the Manifestation Mastery course, and all the other amazing stuff. And if you want to support the channel, I'd greatly appreciate if you became a Patreon member. Hope you'll have an amazing day, people. God bless.
Welcome to Revival of Wisdom.
Welcome people, we're back with another video. In this video we're talking about how Jesus Christ and Christianity is all sun worship. The Holy Bible of Christianity is not meant to be taken literal for history. It is a story and has lots of metaphors. Starting with the symbol of the cross of Jesus. This cross originates from this ancient cross of the sun. This symbol has been used for thousands of years, way before Jesus was a thing, in Europe, America, Asia, and all around the world. In fact, this symbol is still being used by Christians today, not knowing it represents the sun. This is a 4,500-year-old artifact, a golden plate with an equal-armed cross found in England. The gold to symbolize the sun, and the equal-armed cross for the 4 equal seasons of the year. So this is why in the Bible you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, symbolizing the yearly cycle of the sun and the 4 equal seasons. Also in the Bible, Jesus is referred to as the light of the world. So yes, Jesus represents the sun. He is a metaphor for the sun. Hence why in all of these pictures and images and paintings of Jesus, there's always a sun behind his head, and some even with the sun cross behind his head. Jesus also has 12 disciples, which represent the 12 zodiac signs and the 12 months of the year. This is the Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci. As you can see, the sun, being Jesus, is in the center, because the sun is in the center of the zodiac signs. There are 4 groups which symbolize the 4 equal seasons. Each group contains 3 people symbolizing the 3 months and the 3 zodiac signs in that season. There is only 1 female in the painting, which is Virgin Mary, who symbolizes Virgo, the astrological sign. So yes, Jesus symbolizes the sun with his 12 zodiac signs and 4 gospels for the 4 seasons of the year. However, there is another phenomenon. The 25th of December is known as the birth of Jesus Christ, which is known as Christmas today. Jesus symbolizing the sun and is born on December 25th. This is the day the sun moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the warmth, the growth of crops, the life and light back to the northern hemisphere. Everything is springing back to life, as we call it, spring. So it is said that the sun is born again on the 25th of December, and Jesus is known as the risen Savior, because the sun is our risen Savior, because it gives life to the whole of this realm, the warmth, the crops, And without the sun rising in the morning, we'd all die in about 2 weeks. And we all know how Jesus died on a cross. The sun also dies on a cross in the southern hemisphere. It dies on the Southern Crux constellation. And on December the 22nd, 23rd and 24th, the sun remains in the same position. So the sun dies for 3 days and it is born again on December 25th, when it moves 1 degree northward. And this is when the sun is born again, or resurrected, just like Jesus. Constellation Virgo is prominent in the spring sky in the northern hemisphere. So therefore, the sun is born a virgin, Virgo. And as you see in this image, you see Virgin Mary holding the sun. Us as humans do not own the sun, so therefore God owns the sun. So yes, the sun is the Son of God, and this is what Jesus is symbolizing. And just how Jesus sacrifices himself for humanity, that's what the sun does. The sun gives out all of its energy so we can live. There are many other Bible verses which represent Jesus as the sun. Now in Matthew 8:23-27, his disciples are in a boat and there is a massive storm. Jesus is asleep, meaning the sun has not arose. And the disciples say, "Save us, Lord, we are perishing." Quote, "Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm." End quote. Now this is a metaphor for the sun rising and calming the storm, because in the ocean, when the sun is down, that's when there are great storms. The worship of celestial bodies go back thousands of years, and it's called astrotheology, and it can pretty much be traced back to all ancient civilizations. Now going back to the ancient Egyptians, the god Horus, the god of war, and he symbolized the sun in the morning. Ancients used to say that he walked over the sky in 12 steps. Yes, this could symbolize the 12 zodiac signs. It also symbolizes the 12 hours of daylight. So we have 12 hours of Horus, but now they've rearranged the word to hours. Horus and hours. And when the sun rises, Horus rises, we say horizon, which is Horus is rising. That's the etymology of horizon. Another Egyptian god called Amun-Ra was known as the god of all creation. He was the first god of them all. Amun was also a sun god. Therefore, after every Christian's prayer, they say Amen, sending their prayer through the sun to God. So this all goes back to the worshipping of the sun. Sun worship was around way before the Romans. However, in the Roman times, their sun god was called Mithra. Mithraism was the main religion before Christianity came into play. Mithra was the son of God. He died on a cross, and he was dead for 3 days and resurrected, just like Jesus. So the Catholic Church was not made in heaven. It was made by the Roman Empire. They mixed all the sun religions of Judaism, Mithraism, and other Arabic religions and combined it into one, so Caesar, the Roman emperor, could gain his own religion. So yes, Christianity was a political move to gain more control over the masses, because it was a worldwide government at this point in time. So here is a Sumerian helmet with the rising sun symbol. And then the Romans also used this rising sun symbol on their armor. So sun worship has been going on for thousands of years, and it still goes on today. However, with all the programming and the low IQs, today we do not get the full interpretation of the Bible and these stories from the past. And Christians and other religions are all brainwashed to not question their religion and not realize their true origins and where they come from. I do advise you all to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. However, I'm just pointing out the facts and connecting dots for you all to see. That's it for this video, guys and girls. Thank you all for tapping in. God bless.
What is good, people? How are we all doing? Today we're going to be talking about the different planes of existence, the occult side of the world, the things they don't teach you in school. And of course, you can only find that on this channel, so welcome. So you need to understand is that your consciousness moves through these different planes of existence, these different states of consciousness, which make up all of you. Okay? They are all interlocked planes. They are all interpenetrated into each other. They are all one. They melt into the plane above and below. You see, each plane is a product of each plane. As above, so below. Now, the higher you go, the more fluid, the more dreamy, the less dense it becomes. The lower you go, the more denser it becomes, the more solid it becomes. The lowest plane is the physical plane, which you are obviously aware of. You are inside of the physical plane now. But while you are in this inside of this physical plane, you are indeed inside of all these other bodies which you have not awakened yet. You have to awaken these different bodies. You have these bodies. Okay? It's like a ripple effect. And the center is the most dense, the most solid. This is Earth, heart, the heart of the ripple. And the lower you, the further you go out from the center, the more dreamy, the less fluid, the more fluid, the more less dense it gets until you're one with the all. You see? And this is what it's like. This is what this system is. It's like a ripple effect. Now, let's jump straight into the planes. First, you have the physical plane, made out of 4 elements. Five elements. The ether is the mother of the elements. It's the womb of the elements. It's the 5th element. And it gives birth to the 4 other elements. 4 is stability. Tables have 4 legs, and this is why the ether gives birth to 4, because it's the foundation of the physical world. Fire, earth, water, air. They are not pure. Each one of the elements melts into the other one. For example, earth and water both share cold. Water and air both share wet. You see? They compose of each other. They melt, they mold into each other based off the vibrational state of the ether. That's what it is. The 4 elements are the vibrational states of the ether. Okay? So you have the 4 physical elements making this, physical world. It's the lowest world. It's the world of effect. This world, whatever you see, whatever you experience, it's the effect. You can't change anything by manipulating this world. You got to manipulate the higher worlds to affect this world, you see? As above, so below. This is the lowest plane. It has 3-dimensional. It's the 3rd dimension. Space, height, and thickness. That's all it is. Front, backwards, upwards. You see, it's 3-dimensional. We cannot perceive the hidden side, which is the interior of this existence. We cannot perceive the interior from our exterior view. We are looking into this world. Okay, this is the exterior view. We can't see what's inside of that. That's the 4th dimension, which is the next one. It's the most gross and dense plane. 4 states of matter, the most slowest vibrational molecules exist in this plane. Above this plane, you have the ether. Okay, the word ether and either are the same thing, because either connects 2 scenarios in languages. I either support Manchester United or Liverpool. Either is connecting them 2 scenarios. The ether is doing the exact same, as you can see here on the planes of existence. It connects the astral world, which is very important, to the physical world. It's connecting these two worlds. So it's the ether. It's the ether. The ether is pure potential. Energy flows through the ether. It is pure energy, pure potential. Okay? The physical body is an exact copy of the etheric counterpart body. So every physical object has an etheric energy double. It's like a blueprint of that object. Every single object has an energy double, and that's the etheric double. Okay? The etheric body determines the shape of our physical body through its lines of force. All through life, it rebuilds and restores the physical body. Physical problems show up first in the etheric body, because as above, so below. You manipulate the higher planes, it will manipulate this plane. And this is why sorcery works. You know, contact with astral plane entities. We'll get into that a bit later. So, the reason why we can't see this plane, this energy world, which is all around us, which we are inside of right now as we speak, is that the molecules that compose it are further apart than those of the physical plane, making it invisible to the two eyes. That we can't perceive it. Our eyes cannot physically suck in that sort of information, and our brain cannot decode it. This is why, you know, they brainwash us with all these programs to keep us asleep, to keep these other bodies we have asleep, so we don't find out about these other bodies, and it's to make you believe that everything's just a material. Only the material world exists. They don't want you to know is that everything that you see is a result of something you cannot see. As above, so below. There are realities within this reality. This is what I'm breaking down now, these different planes, on how this reality works. So your etheric double is your energy body. You can see here the physical, etheric, astral. Astral is your spirit. The ether is a part of the physical plane. It's like just above the physical plane, but it's still part. But then the astral plane is completely separate. It's another plane, but they're all interlocked. Don't think they're apart. They're all interlocked. They're all one. They all melt into each other. The chakras that we have are inside of our etheric body. They are our sense of organs which tune us to the fourth dimension. These 7 chakras connect us to the astral world, the fourth dimension. Okay? They are points for the flow of energy from the universe / 7 planets, because the 7 chakras are your 7 planets, and the 7 planets are connected to the astral world. They are feeding these 7 senses in our body. They connect us to the universe, to our etheric counterpart, and then to us, supplying the physical body. Because the energy comes from above. As above, so below. These 7 senses, these 7 etheric chakras, are being supplied with energy from the universe, the 7 planets, the solar system. Then it supplies the physical body. You see? So, the ether is very important. And this is, you know, that the ancients understood the science of the ether, and they could, you know, harness free electricity from it, because it's all around us. The ether is all around us. And this is what they were doing. They were harnessing free energy using the ether. The astral plane, the fourth dimension, very important plane. Very, very important. We've all been there. Every single one of you has been there. Okay? The fourth dimension is unseen of what we see. It's the interior of the exterior that we see. We see the third dimension, but we cannot see beyond what's making this third dimension. This is the fourth dimension. Okay, it's the dream world. This is where you go when you dream. Okay, this is where you go when you dream. It's the place of disembodied spirits or ghosts, entities, whatever you want to call them. When you hear ringing in your ears, that is not tinnitus. That is an entity around you. Okay? That is an entity around you. The fourth dimension is where thought forms exist. Mental images. Thought forms as in what you see in your mind when you think of an image. Because the mind is the highest plane of existence. Mind is the highest plane of existence. And it manipulates all of the planes below. So it goes the mental plane, then the astral plane. So the thought is in the mind, the mental plane. That just the thought alone, no image, But then the form depiction, the thought form exists, it manifests in the astral plane as a sort of image, an entity, a living conscious being. So this is why thoughts are things. You see, thought forms exist within the fourth dimension. So when you imagine something, when you are, for example, right now, look into your hand and imagine there's an apple in your hand. If you can see that, you are seeing into this fourth dimension. You can only see into this fourth dimension using the mind's eye, not the two eyes, the mind's eye. When you shut off the two eyes into darkness, the third eye opens. The mind's eye is open, and you can see, this is astral travel. You got to work on astral travel, and you will see this astral plane, this fourth dimension. And there are 3 different sections to this astral plane: higher, middle, or lower. So yes, there is a kind of a heaven and hell, and a mid-god. Heaven being the higher vibrational entities manifesting higher vibrational thought forms existing there, the lower vibrational thought forms existing in the astral plane. But these thought forms are beings. You can create these beings. They're called elementals. Okay? If you entertain specific thoughts for long enough, this will plant a seed and it will grow. If you keep, so for example, you have a bad feeling or whatever, what's a good example? Unforgiving someone. You keep that energy inside of you for long enough, it will manifest in the fourth dimension. You entertain that thought long enough, it will manifest. And it will create an etheric body, and it will be an entity which will harm you. It will feed off you, this low vibrational energy. Your mind is so powerful. It creates thought forms, and these thought forms can take consciousness, can take bodies, etheric bodies. Now, that's why it's very important that you master your mind, master your thought patterns. So this fourth dimension is the astral world. So when you have a nightmare, this is the lower astral plane. You're in the lower astral plane. Whilst this physical body rests at night, your consciousness, you awaken this other body, your consciousness goes inside of this other body, whilst the physical body lays asleep. You see? So it's all inside of you. This is what you need to understand. You just haven't awakened these bodies yet. You can awaken them. You just got to awaken them. Okay? The next is the mental plane. This is the mind, the source, pure cause, pure motion, the most less dense, the most fluid. No form. There's no form to the mind. Astral plane is the first plane where a form takes existence, pretty much. The mental world has no form. It's pure mind, pure intelligence. Thoughts alone exist here without any images or manifestation. The most fluid, the most dreamy, the most causal plane. All of the rest take the effects of this plane. That's why it's mind over matter. Your thoughts they create vibrations. Each vibration is vibrating on a specific frequency, which creates mental images, creates effects down here on this physical plane. This is why it's so important to master your mind. Master what you think. Master your mind. It's the hardest thing to master. You could conquer the world, but it's probably harder to conquer your own mind than to conquer the whole world. I can promise you that, because the mind can play tricks on you. You got to listen to that inner guide within you that will constantly manifest the good things. So anyways, people, hope you learned a lot from this. Please work on trying to activate these other bodies. I will maybe do another video on trying to activate these bodies if you wish. Please comment down below if you would like to see that. And have an amazing day. Please like, subscribe, comment down below any video ideas you want me to do, any information you want me to spit. Thank you all. Have an amazing day.
Greetings everyone, it's Revival of Wisdom. I facilitate human enlightenment through occult and esoteric teachings. I hope this video expands your mind into a new field of thought. In this video, we're going to be discovering the true esoteric meaning of the 7 planetary energies. So let's jump straight into this. In order to fully understand this, you must understand the esoteric teaching of as above, so below, and as within, so without. Our inner world is mirrored into our external material reality. We have a physical voice, which you are hearing right now, and I also have an inner voice, which no one else can hear. The inner world is invisible, and the external world is visible. In other words, the inner world is the spiritual world, and the outer world is the material world. The inner world of ourselves reflects and projects our outer world, which means everything in our external reality is somewhat reflection of our internal self. You are made in the image and likeness of God. You yourself are the universe experiencing itself in a 3-dimensional physical form. The Newtonian science has programmed you to believe that you are a physical being inside of a physical universe. They did this to limit your mind to only believing there is a physical universe and that you are separate from the universe or God. But you yourself are the divine essence of the universe, experiencing itself in a physical plane, which means everything you see is inside of you, including the stars, the planets, and the elements. As above, so below. As within, so without. An example of this is the 4 physical elements: fire, earth, water, and air. In the external world, these are physical elements. In our internal world, they represent the 4 bodies of consciousness. We have 4 different bodies. We have a material body, we have a spiritual body, an emotional body, and a mental body. The mind is not made out of the same substance as the body. The emotions is not made out of the same substance of the mind and the body. These bodies exist in 4 different dimensions, 4 layers of consciousness. With that being said, the 4 physical elements are inside of us. The earth is our material physical body. Fire represents our spiritual astral light body. Water represents our transformative and emotional body. Air represents the mental body, the communicative and thinking body. This is the teaching as above, so below. If that resonates with you and you can comprehend it, please leave a like and a subscribe to this channel to see more content. And feel free to leave a comment on any video suggestions. Okay, so now we've gone over the 4 physical elements and how they correspond with your inner world of consciousness. This is going to make it easier for you to understand what the planets actually are. The planets are a bit more in-depth and more detailed aspects of our consciousness. The 4 physical elements are generic, but the 7 planets go deeper. They are deeper aspects of ourselves. On a macrocosmic scale, the 7 planets rule the material realm. Every object, every animal, every plant, every stone, everything we see in this plane is governed and created under one of the 7 planets. I don't really like calling them planets. They are energies. They are spiritual forces that drive things into existence. An example of this is if we look at a tree. The roots of the tree are governed by Saturn. The stem of the tree is governed by the sun. The leaves of the tree are governed by the moon. Any offspring or fruit of the tree is governed by Jupiter. Any defense mechanisms of the tree is governed by Mars. The communication and networking of the tree is governed by Mercury. The smell and the look of the tree is governed by Venus. Everything we see in this material plane is governed by one of these specific energies. Everything material has a spiritual force that brings it into physical existence. This is the reason why we have 7 days of creation in the Bible. The 7 days of the week, all governed by the planetary energies. Monday is moon day for the moon. Mars governs Tuesday. Mercury is Wednesday. Jupiter is Thursday. Venus is Friday. Saturn is Saturn day. And Sunday is for the sun. This is the reason why there are so many 7s in this physical plane. 7 days of the week, the 7 colors, the 7 chakras, the 7 diatonic musical notes, the 7 lamps on the Jewish candlestick. The G inside of the Masonic square and compass, G is the 7th letter. Now let's go a little bit deeper into every planetary energy. Saturn in the external material plane governs the foundational and enduring aspects of existence, such as roots of plants, the bones of our body, and even the insects that dwell beneath the ground. Saturn represents the dull, hard, and unyielding forces of life, symbolizing structure, limitation, and conditioning. Under Saturn's influence, things become rigid, bound by restrictions and boundaries. This is the reason why Saturn is known as Father Time, because Saturn rules anything that is a restriction and a limitation, which is time. The whole of this material plane is governed by time. You will be born and you will die. This explains why there is so much Saturn symbology in this material plane. Saturn is one of the most important planetary energies. You are a spiritual being in a physical body. Your light, your consciousness is bound to the physical body until you learn how to escape the physical body. The body is a limitation for our infinite minds and spiritual bodies. Our infinite mind is stuck in this material body, governed by Saturn's limitation of time, matter, and space. Now let's dive into what Saturn means to our consciousness within our internal world. We've gone over what Saturn means in the external world. What does it mean to our consciousness? Internally, Saturn embodies the conditioning within our consciousness. When the Saturnian aspect of our consciousness dominates, we become overly rigid, fixated, and restricted in our thinking and actions. For example, Saturn's influence is strongly felt in today's world, where many people's minds are confined to societal norms and conditioned responses. Saturn is the aspect of our consciousness, our minds, such as limiting belief systems and limiting thoughts and emotions. This is the negative thought that you can't get rid of, that's holding you back. This is a Saturn aspect of our consciousness. However, this is not a negative thing. The Saturnian aspect of our consciousness is a great teacher, guiding us through difficult life lessons that ultimately lead us to growth and expansion. Saturn's energy allows us to experience and overcome fears and limitations so our minds can expand into new fields of thought, into new life. Although Saturn's energy is harsh and often challenging, it helps us develop resilience, discipline, and wisdom. However, in the modern day, this Saturnian energy has overpowered the minds of the masses, fostering excessive rigidity and limitation. This is why we see so much Saturn symbolism. It's literally everywhere because our minds are being dominated by the Saturnian limiting aspect of our consciousness. Now, let's move on to the moon. The moon, or lunar energy in the external material macrocosm plane, governs the elements of water, influencing the natural cycles such as the ocean tides, which rise and fall in harmony with the moon's phases. Beyond water, the moon also guides instinctual behaviors such as animal migrations. Birds, insects, and other creatures rely on the moon's subtle energies to navigate their journeys. For example, dung beetles use polarization patterns in the moonlight to orient themselves and travel safely home. The moon creates the months. M-O-N is moon. There are 28-day cycles, and this 28-day cycle of the moon is reflected in the woman's body, known as the menstrual cycle. The moon is a feminine energy, governing the feminine elements such as water and the feminine cycles of the body. The moon is the womb. This is why eggs have the same color as the moon, because eggs are ruled by the moon's energy. Now that's the external world. The internal world, the moon symbolizes the emotion aspect of our consciousness. It represents the subconscious mind, the seat of intuition and psychic abilities. Just like in the external world, things are born out of the moon, such as eggs and the womb. The subconscious mind acts as a womb for our conscious mind. Our deep subconscious emotions and programs are born into light into the conscious mind and controls the conscious mind. The moon represents our hidden psyche, our shadow self. Now let's go on to the sun. The sun represents the life force. In the material external world, the sun is ruling over pretty much all life. The sun gives life to all things. Without the sun, animals could not exist, the human body could not work, and plants would not grow. The sun is the life force. It's the soul of the world. Now, in our internal world of consciousness, the sun represents our passion, our drive, our conscious mind. The aspect of our internal world that wants to drive things and give life to physical manifestation. Now we go on to Mars energy. Mars is well known for being the god of war. Mars energy manifests into the material plane through anything that seeks to protect or defend itself. For example, the holly tree. The holly tree leaves are very sharp and they defend itself. Anything that is protective in the material world has Mars energy and is governed by this specific aspect of consciousness. For example, any predators or animals such as hedgehogs with spines on their backs for protection. Mars represents all things that is driven by conflict, aggression and defense. Now internally, inside of our inner world, Mars symbolizes the aspect of our consciousness that is focused on self-preservation and protection. Mars governs our ego, the instinctual urges of anger or maintaining reputation. Mars is not evil, it's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary for us to protect ourselves. Mars is the aspect of our consciousness that is anger, rage, the desire to fight or conquer. When this energy is activated within our consciousness, we become defensive, assertive, and even combative, ready to dominate others and destroy obstacles in our way. Now let's move on to Venus energy. Venus in the external material world manifests its energy through the aesthetics of creation. This planet governs the beauty and harmony found in nature, including the nurturing environment of a mother's womb where life begins. Venus embodies the essential love, not only in romantic relationships, but also in the bonds between family members and all living beings. Venus represents relationships. We have relationships between plants, animals. They all depend on each other to give life. Plants provide food and medicine, while living creatures contribute to their own growth and pollination. Internally, Venus represents the aspect of our consciousness that yearns for relationships and connections with others. This is an aspect of our consciousness that encourages to care for our physical appearance and embracing beauty. Aesthetics play a role in our interactions and self-expression. This is why there is a beauty brand called Venus. Now let's move to Jupiter energy. Jupiter in the material plane manifests its energy as forces of fortune, abundance, and wealth. This energy manifests itself as plants, as fruits that we can consume and eat in abundance. Anything that is nourishing and cultivated by the earth for humanity and animals. Jupiter embodies the giving energy that provides for and sustains life, fostering growth and ensuring that resources are available to all. Its influence is seen in the natural cycles of abundance, where fruits must grow and ripen before they are enjoyed, symbolizing the importance of effort and patience. Internally, in our spiritual world, Jupiter represents the aspects of our consciousness that yearns for abundance and seeks growth in various aspects of our lives, including wealth, knowledge, and personal development of the mind, spirit, and the soul. This is the aspect of our consciousness that wants to gain wealth, that wants to gain expansion and abundance in our lives. However, when Jupiter's energy dominates our consciousness excessively, it can lead to feelings of stinginess and greed. It represents material possession. The last planet is Mercury. Mercury in the external world governs the vital elements such as seeds, air, communication, education, and electricity. Known as the messenger of the gods, Mercury rules over intellect, communication, and the transmission of knowledge. Mercury's states of consciousness manifests itself in the material plane as the network between trees and plants, how they all communicate together. It represents the intelligence behind all physical things. It's the intelligence behind the seed that allows it to grow into a plant. Mercury's creative energy is manifested in the nervous system of the human body and all living animals. the intricate messenger that transmits signals from the body to the brain and then to the mind. This intelligence within us allows us to facilitate thought and movement. Internally, in our spiritual aspects of consciousness, Mercury is the state of consciousness that seeks knowledge, understanding, and intellectual growth and expansion. This part of us is curious, eager to learn, and driven to communicate ideas and information. It represents our mental body. The Roman god Mercury is often depicting flying because this symbolizes the air. Air represents our mental body. When the Mercury aspect of our consciousness dominates, we become highly intellectual, constantly seeking information, analyzing situation, and communicating our ideas. While this can enhance our understanding and ability to interact with the world, an excess of Mercury's influence can lead to overthinking, excessive analysis, and focus on intellect over emotions or intuition. Okay, so they are the 7 planetary energies in the external world and your internal world of consciousness. These energies are manifested in the Roman mythology as human beings. They are depicted as human beings, but this is nothing but symbolism. These gods never existed physically. They represent aspects of our consciousness and spiritual forces that govern the material plane. Every material object, every intelligence, every piece of life in this universe is governed and brought into existence by one of these spiritual forces. Now, I hope this video has expanded your mind into a new realm of thought. Make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more occult and esoteric information. You can read more about this topic and many more occult and esoteric teachings inside of my books, the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 and the Book of Wisdom Volume 2. I honestly advise that not everyone reads these books. These are books which will completely transform your view on reality. You will feel a lot better reading these books because you will find a connection with yourself and the universe. Understanding truth and knowing thyself gives you a sense of well-being. Like I said, this is not just a book. This is a beginning of your journey of expansion and growth. Reading them can be life-changing. Inside my university, I host live calls where you can ask me questions, and you can watch all the pre-recorded live calls. You also gain the ability to manifest your own reality through the Manifestation Mastery course. There is also a library with all of the PDFs that I've read in the past of occultism, symbolism, and esotericism that you can gain access to. There is a whole lecture section where you can watch all of my occult lectures. This is a place of transformation. The price of the university will be going up very soon. If you join now, you will gain a free sexual alchemy course which will teach you how to transmute sexual energy into creativity. I'll leave all the links in the description for the university and also my website where you can get my books. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.
As above, so below. This is one of the most crucial teachings within esotericism, occultism, or what we like to call it today, spirituality. I don't like calling it spirituality because it's not spirituality. I teach human consciousness. I teach the science of you and your consciousness alone and your being. And in order to fully understand you and this world around you, you must understand this number one principle of as above, so below. There is many misconceptions of this, and there is many simple teachings of this, but I'm going to break it down today from the most simplest to the most complex, and you will see the connections between all things. This is the most important lesson you could ever learn, and I'm going to teach it you today. So what you must understand is with the term as above, so below, it applies with everything you see in this world and about yourself. We have something called the macro, which means the bigger scale. On the bigger scale, we have the whole earth. If we look down from the sky on top of rivers, this is what we see. We see this tree pattern. Then on a smaller scale, we see trees have this same pattern. Then we look even closer. We're going smaller and smaller into the leaves of the tree. We see the same pattern. Then we go even more micro into the human brain and look at the human brain cells, and we see the same pattern. This is proof this is a fractal universe. And everything is in the micro is reflected in the macro. As above, so below. As within, so without. On the macro is a reflection of the micro. So now that you understand this, we can go a bit further. A yearly cycle of spring, summer, fall, winter is a macro. A micro is a daily cycle. So a day is a mini year. The summer is the midday. Autumn is the evening. Night is the winter. And spring is the morning. This is a macro, a reflection. We have a miniature cycle of the zodiac every single day. And this cycle is also reflecting the cycle of life and death. We live, we are born, which is the spring. We live, which is the summer. We then age, which is the autumn. And then we die, which is the winter. And then we are reborn again. This is the cycle of life and death. And you do this every single day. You see, death is a macrocosm of sleep. This is why we say sleep is the cousin of death. Because you die every single night. You do this process of life and death every single day. As above, so below. What's in the micro is in the macro. So when you go to sleep, you are essentially dying. And then in the morning when you wake up, you are then born again. This is a fractal cycle that we live in. Everything in this whole world is fractal. Everything applies to as above, so below. We have the sun, we have the moon, we have the day, we have the night. We have the life, we have the death. We have the conscious, we have sleep. As above, so below. We have the conscious mind, because now we're diving into as within, so without. As above, so below more refers to the external world. As within, so without is referring to your inner world and the outer world. What you must understand is about yourself. You exist in two realms. You're an individual. The dual nature of you. You exist in two realms at once. You have an inner world of your thought, emotion. This is the inner world that no one else can see but yourself. And you have an outer world with a physical body which everyone can see. So you exist in two worlds. You have the inner voice, you have the outer physical voice, which I'm speaking to you with now. But I also have an inner voice, which no one can hear, only but me. So you exist in the light and you exist in the darkness. The sun represents your external self, your physical, conscious mind. The moon represents your shadow self, the inner self, the psyche self, the spirit self. There is an as above, so below. The sun is within you. The moon is within you. Everything is within you. Now that you understand as above, so below, what is your body? Your body is a miniature earth. Let me repeat, your body is an earth. Your body is the earth. Okay? Because like I say many times in all of my videos, you are not in the world. The world is you. You are the universe. Your brain is a computer creating this reality. What you see with your eyes is produced in the back of the brain called the visual cortex. You don't look into the world, the brain produces the world. The body produces the world. When you touch something, you're not actually touching something. This is the electrical nervous system. When you touch something, what you feel is actually electrical signals on your nervous system reporting back to your brain. Therefore, when this body dies, you leave the earth because this body is the earth. Okay? As above, so below. You have the mental plane, the astral plane, the etheric plane, and the physical plane. This is essential for understanding reality and the teaching of as above, so below. Everything in this material plane began in the thinking mind. For example, the microphone I'm speaking into, the phone you're watching this video off, or the laptop or iPad. Where did this begin? It didn't begin in the factory. The first ever place this item begun was in the mind of an individual. The invisible realms of mind is where all physical things and physical items begun. Essentially, this physical plane is the effect of the thinking mind. This world is the world of effect. It's the world of outcomes. When you see something, it is already manifest. It is already being manifested. It is an effect. And in the effect of the cause, which is the thinking mind. Therefore, the mind creates thoughts, which is the mental plane. Then after thoughts creates imagination, which is the astral plane. These two are spiritual. They are non-physical. So spirit kind of means non-physical. Then you have the physical planes, the etheric and the physical plane. As above, so below. What happens in the mind is manifest on the physical plane. Like I said, the phone that you are holding, it was a thought, and then it brought down into a physical reality. As above, so below. You change the mind, you change your reality. Your environment, the word environment has ment in it because your environment is mental. So now that you understand this, so what is the world around you? The world around you was created by the mind of God. It was manifested through God's thought. So you are living in the mind of God. You are a thought in the mind of God. God thought you into existence. But like I said, we are all fractals. Everything is fractal. If God exists, this means that you are God, as above, so below. God created you through the thinking mind, and he gave you a thinking mind. So God created the macrocosm. God created the macro, the whole world. He designed the whole world, the sun, the stars, the moving. He designed this. But then he gave you the thinking mind to design your own life and create your own life in his world. You are a microcosm of God's macrocosm. Just like God thought you into existence and the whole world into existence, you are a microcosm thinking your world, your reality into existence. You see this now? Everything is a reflection. Everything is a mirror. Everything is fractal. So in order for you to change your reality, you must change these higher planes. Your thought and imagination are the two key aspects of creating physical reality. Every object you see around you was begun in these higher planes of the non-physical, and they were brought out of spirit into physical matter through the thinking mind and physical action. So now we're going to get a bit deeper. The brain is not the mind. Now that you understand, we have spirit and matter. As above, so below. You have a non-physical side of reality and a physical side of reality. The mind is the spiritual brain. The brain is a physical manifestation, a physical effect of the mind. The mind uses the brain to operate in the physical world, and it's the same with the heart. The soul manifests itself physically through the heart. The heart is a physical manifestation of the soul, of the emotion, thought and emotion, the mind and the soul, the brain and the heart, heaven and earth. So you have the inner world and the outer world, the spiritual, non-physical, and the physical. So we are all on this process of awakening and expansion. an expansion of our minds into new fields of thought, into new fields of awakening ourselves. Because essentially we are born into this world, but you are born many, many times. You can be born physically and you can be born spiritually. Like I said, everything is fractal. So just like when the baby finds out that there is a world outside of its mother, what does the baby do? The baby seeks a way out of its mother, and then the baby is now born into a new world, a world outside of its mother's womb. It's the same with you and your spiritual process. As your mind becomes aware that there are other realities beyond your physical body, it then seeks a way out. And this is why you are probably watching my YouTube, because you are now on the path. Something within you has guided you to this path of knowledge, truth, enlightenment, and expanding your consciousness. And it is your soul who brought you here. Your soul speaks through emotion, like guidance. Emotion is the language of the soul. When you feel very bad, this is your soul telling you you're not in the right place. You're doing the wrong things. Because the soul is always unfolding its purpose, which is expansion and learning. That is it. The mastery of the self and the learning of the mind is the only thing that counts in the end after this life. So you are on a journey of expansion, of learning, creating, and spiritual rebirth. As above, so below. What does this body tell you? When I see someone overweight, I don't see the overweight. I don't see the body. I see the mind. I see an undisciplined mind. I see a mind that lacks self-control. I see a mind that seeks external validation. That's what I see when I see an overweight person. I don't see his body. I see the result of his mind. Because what does the Bible tell you? You shall know them by their fruits. It's the same saying as above, so below. You shall know them by their fruit. The fruit is their manifestation. Your body is a direct correlation and manifestation of your mind. Your inner world projects your outer world. As within, so without. As above, so below. Now, what do you see when you see this man's body? I see discipline. I see strength. Mental strength, not physical strength. I see mental resilience of pain. Because all of this man's mental energy has been manifested physically within his muscle. This body is a direct manifestation of this man's mind's pain and suffering, and it shows discipline. This is why people instantly respect you if you are in shape. You walk into a room and you are in shape, people will instantly give you respect because they know that you are mentally disciplined. The body is a reflection of your inner world, and it's the same with your friends, your family, your connections with people. If you think about yourself very negatively all the time, and you don't have a good connection with yourself, you don't have a connection with your true self, this will manifest into every single relationship you have in your life. If you don't have a good relationship with your inner self, you don't have a good relationship with the people and the friends around you. Because as within, so without. If you think negative about yourself, you will only pick up the negative in other people. If I think very highly of myself and I think very happy and good things about myself, I will then see the good things in other people. Because it's as above, so below. As the inner world is, so is the outer world. It's the same with your life circumstances. Your life is a direct correlation of every thought you thought in the past. If you possess millions of pounds, millions of dollars, this is because you have thought this into physical reality. You live the life you are deserved. You live the life that you manifest through your thought. If you live a very poor life, this is a reflection of your mind. This is a reflection of what you have thought into physical existence. Because like I said, everything begins in the mind. As above, so below. And this is even present within the body. So where is the head? The head is at the very top of the body. And where does all manifestation begin? In the mind. That's where the mind is, in the head. And then the thoughts we think travel down the body into the heart, which is the emotion. Every thought we think is in the emotion. Every thought we think creates an emotion. This emotion then drives the action. Where does the action come from? The feet, because the feet move our body. We move with our feet to take action. Our hands. You see, so the body is even a reflection. I can't even say it. Reflection of the order of manifestation. This blew my mind when I figured this out. You see, the head, the thoughts begin here. This is the beginning of all manifestation. Then it comes down to the heart. This is the emotion. Then you take the action. The thought and emotion then sparks the action, which is taken with the hands and the feet. And where's the lowest point on the body? The feet, and that's touching the physical earth. So the head is where the thought is, the non-physical, and the lowest point on the body, which is touching the physical earth. So the head represents spirit, the feet represent matter, spirit and matter. Your room, if I walk into your room and I see a messy room, I don't see the room, I see a messy mind. The room is a reflection of the mind. If you have a messy room, this is your mind. It's an externalization of your unsorted mind, undisciplined mind. So like I said, we are all God, and we must find the God self within us. And I teach all of this inside the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. This is not just a book, this is a revolution. This is the beginning of a new age with this book. If you have read it, I congratulate you. You should feel very proud of yourself if you have an open mind. You should feel proud of yourself for watching these videos, because not many people have an open mind. Remember this, people. You are special if you're watching these videos. You have the mind. You have the ability to see through the illusion. And I take my hat off to you. You want to take this to the next step? Read the book. Or if you want to take it to the serious levels, join the university. The university, you gain access to every piece of my material that I've ever done, all of my books, all of my lectures that are hidden from YouTube, that are hidden from everywhere else, the lectures that give you real power. And if you feel alone on this journey, we have a conscious community where you can connect with like-minded individuals, because I've been there. I've been there when you feel lonely, because you feel like no one else is thinking the way you are feeling. You can't talk to people about these things because people just think you're crazy. That's why I put together this, so we can connect, so we can unite, so you can connect with people, so you don't feel crazy about thinking about this stuff, learning about this stuff. And if you truly want to level up your life, people, and take your studies serious, this is for you. We do live calls, we do lectures. There's a whole live